What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and baby, let's get into the drama of it all because we got a few things to talk about. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. So yesterday, this was reported by TV Deets. It says RHOP season 10 filming delayed as Bravo decides next steps exclusive. So I'm gonna read this article. Y'all know I'll put the link to the article in the description box below. But let's get into it. It says this article contains exclusive information and reportings obtained by TV Deets. Please credit accordingly. It says RHOP season 10 filming has been delayed as Bravo decides next steps, sources tell TV Deets exclusively. While reports quickly surfaced after Karen Huger's February 26 sentencing in her DUI case that the Real Housewives of Potomac would begin production on season 10 by the end of March, insiders close to the network confirmed that filming has been paused until sometime in April at the earliest. Bravo is really excited about the next season, but none of the women have been officially asked back, sources revealed. Referencing full-time housewives Giselle Bryan, Wendy Osefu, Mia Thornton, Ashley Darby, Kiarna Stewart, and Stacey Rush. It says they had a whole plan for season 10, but Karen's situation has definitely thrown a wrench in things, continued the insider. Everything is up in the air. It says, according to TV Deeds insiders, Bravos have been happy with the ratings and overall fan response to season 9 and is eager to keep the momentum going, but some involved are worried about rushing into season 10. Karen wasn't even at the reunion and her name was mentioned nonstop, adds another insider. There are a lot of great things about this current group. The network is trying to decide if they can really afford to do a season without her. It goes on to say, no one involved wants to mess up Potomac. It says Mia Thornton's drama further complicates matters is that the back half of season 9 was very Mia heavy, leaving some involved with the show shocked at the response to her controversial storyline involving the paternity of one of her children. Especially in Essence op-ed titled, There's Nothing Entertaining About Mia Thornton's Real Housewives of Potomac storyline, caught the attention of those in the decision-making room. Mia, for her part, has mused about jumping over to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Karen Huger's DUI sentence, as previously reported on TV Deets, Karen Huger was found guilty on December the 18th, 2024, and was sentenced to 2 years in prison with 1 year suspended. She is currently serving her time. The Real Housewives of Potomac star has been facing a list of charges, including driving a vehicle while impaired by alcohol, driving the vehicle while under the influence, over a dramatic March the 9th, 2024 incident, arrest which made international headlines. So I'm going to stop reading the article right here, mainly because the rest of the article is just them rehashing Karen's DUI case. Now, if you would like to read that portion of the article, definitely go to the description box and click on the link below. Now, here's my thing. When I saw this, I was like, I don't know how much I believe this, but I could definitely see it. And then I saw people saying that Wendy got in the comments on somebody's blog and said that that was a lie, that this information wasn't true. So I was just like, okay, it's probably not true. My thing is, I could definitely see them being hesitant to film without Karen. I still can't believe that lady in jail. Ooh, it's just anytime somebody reminds me, I'm like, my gosh, the Grand Dame is really in jail right now for a year, even though she could have had 60 or 30 days based off of the plea deals that people have been saying that was offered to her. That's still wild to me, bro. It's still so wild to me. But actions have consequences. But I could definitely see them being weary of filming without Karen. Because the truth of the matter is, Karen did play an important role on Real Housewives of Potomac. She was an important ingredient in the soup that is Potomac. And I think they're trying to figure out, how do we go on without this ingredient? I think last time I compared it to like potato and broccoli cheddar soup. Like, to me, Karen is like the potato, Giselle is like the broccoli, and then, the cheddar and all the other ingredients are the rest of the ladies. And you can still have good potato cheddar soup without broccoli, and you can have good broccoli cheddar soup without potatoes. But when it's all together, it's delicious. And I think they're kind of nervous about one of the main ingredients, potato, not being there. Because again, I don't think anybody thought Karen was going to go to jail for a year. And so now I think they're just kind of like, do we try to find another potato? Do we try to find another lady that's around the age as Karen, who has the same kind of eccentric and crazy personality? Or do we just go in a different direction? And I do think they have a right to be nervous, because people were into the season, but they got tired of it real quick. The whole Mia, Ink, and Gordon of it all did them in. And what's crazy, y'all, why was Mia at an Atlanta Falcons game with Ink like several days ago, maybe 2 or 3 days ago? And I was like, girl, was Giselle telling the truth that you live full time in Atlanta? On top of that, was Wendy and Giselle right about you dropping Ink because the people was mad at you? And Giselle said, girl, you pretended to drop Ink. And that's what it's giving. It's giving that Mia's like, well, if I'm going to get fired, I might as well live in my truth. Because I think the only 5 ladies whose job is guaranteed is definitely Karen, if she signs on after getting out of jail. Unfortunately, Ashley, Giselle, Wendy, and Stacy. Those 5 women, I think, are guaranteed a contract. But Mia is on the chopping block, because I think her walking off of the reunion and not really standing in her shenanigans rubbed people the wrong way. On top of that, Kiarna was a dud, Jazzy was a dud, and Jacqueline is just Mia's representative. So I think those 4 women are in danger of either being let go or demoted. But I am interested in seeing what they're going to do for season 10. On top of that, a lot of people have been screaming, bring back Candace, bring back Candace. And although I would love to see Candace come back to the show, I definitely think she is not in the place to come back. Now, she did do a small interview with the Neighborhood Talk. It was like 7 minutes long, so I didn't try to download it, but I'll just give you guys the cliff notes. But this is the title of the video. Candace Dillard Bassett dishes on if she's going back to Real Housewives of Potomac. Karen Hugers getting a year in jail for a DUI, motherhood, and other castmates. She had a lot of positive things to say about her castmates, or her, the other people on the show. She talked about, being devastated about Karen's DUI and not liking people piling on to her, but knowing that, you can't drink and drive, so she understands why she got the consequences that she got. She also says Karen probably in there preaching to the girls. She didn't really want to get in between Karen and Wendy's situation, because she was just like, that's their issue, that's their drama. Karen has always, been there for me. And I think the extra additive was that she was like, Karen checked on me the whole entire time throughout my pregnancy. And if Wendy didn't do that, I can see why Candace would be like, look, they still my friends. I want them to figure it out. I'm not getting in grown folks' business. But I also think motherhood has really changed her, in the sense of, like she said in this interview, my priorities is him and what life looks like with him, and I ain't got time to be arguing and stressed out. I feel like when her child is probably maybe like a year or 2 old, maybe she'll come back to Real Housewives of Potomac. I would definitely love to see Candace back, maybe season 12 or season 13 if Potomac makes it that long. But I definitely would want to see her back. I do miss the spark, she, for me, like I said, if Karen is the potato, Giselle is the broccoli, and the rest of the ladies are the other ingredients mixed in, Candace is the grilled cheese sandwich, or, the bread that you sprinkle on top of your soup, or you dip into your soup. She's just that extra piece that makes the meal eat. Like, you're devouring it. And I do miss seeing her on the screen, but I am happy that she is happy with her motherhood journey. I'll always respect the fact that Candace decided that this wasn't for her anymore and she walked away during a pivotal point in her life. Like, you got to do what makes you happy, not what the fans want you to do. Okay? But let's move on to something else. So let's move over to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because it's a lot going on over there. So last Sunday, Queens of Bravo reposted several videos of the ladies being at this local hot springs in Utah. So it says this: breaking, spotted Heather, Angie K, Mary, Bronwyn, Whitney, and Brittany spotted filming at the Saratoga hot springs in Utah yesterday. No Meredith or Lisa. Well, Meredith was actually there because someone then posted a picture of like production and her. It looks like she was talking to Brittany, but Meredith was there. The only person that wasn't there was Lisa. And what's funny is I'm happy to see Brittany. She is a chaos demon, but like her chaos seems like it would be fun. She over there dancing in the water, her doing a hoedown, and just having a fun time. She's fun chaos, in my opinion. What was hilarious to me is Meredith and Mary were like, bro, I'm not getting in that water. Like they are both on the sidelines, bundled up, like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And I just find that hilarious. So, like I said, the only person that wasn't there was Lisa. Now, there's this Twitter page called Hasty Headlines. They lie. I just want y'all to know it's called Fox Bravo. They post like unsubstantiated stories. They make up fake stories. But Mary Cosby's fan page, they basically said that one of the stories that they reported was actually true. And here lately, Mary Cosby's fan page was kind of right with the information that they were reporting, but they also were wrong with some things. So take this with a grain of salt. But Hasty Headline said this: Lisa Barlow skips RHOSLC cash trip as contract and salary disputes threatens her future on the show. And then Mary Cosby's fan page quote tweeted this by saying, "This is actually the truest thing this account has ever posted, allegedly." So there is a few articles out there about this situation. So let me pull up one for you guys. So this is coming from Reality T, and y'all know the link to this article will be in the description box below. But it says this: Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Lisa Barlow teases unresolved drama amid season 6 filming. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 5 might be over, but it will always live in our hearts. The snowflakes of Salt Lake City just know how to make entertaining reality TV, and one of the stars just can't stop watching is Lisa Barlow. Lisa had plenty of drama during RHOSLC's last season, from the continuation of her feud with Whitney Rose to the dissolution of her friendship with Bronwyn Newport. Lisa was the talk of the town. In recent interviews, Lisa admits that she has some unresolved feelings about the way season 5 left off. It says during a recent interview with US Weekly, Lisa reveals that she didn't feel a sense of resolution at the RHOSLC reunion. Most reunions, I feel like I say everything I need to say, and I don't feel like I have that this year. Lisa said, I definitely feel like I have unresolved business and it needs to be taken care of. Bring it on, baby gorgeous. It's likely she's referring to the beef with Bronwyn, Whitney, and GK after their explosive fights last season. However, Lisa apparently isn't ready to move on and wants to continue to defend her stance. I think that people know by now that like when I say something, if I say it, I can back it up. I don't like the falsifying things. I'm human and I make mistakes too, but I've learned as I've gotten older that I love to have backup for things before I make decisions on saying anything. She concludes, so Lisa might show up to RHLC 6 premiere with her own Angie K inspired scroll. So here's the thing. I don't know how much I believe that Lisa is not filming this show or this salary dispute, because people made a big hoopla about her not having Real Housewives of Salt Lake City in her bio on Instagram. But then people were like, she never had it in her bio on Instagram. So somebody was like, they took a screenshot when Lisa only had 404 subscribers or followers on Instagram, and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City wasn't in her bio. And then now she currently has 430K in her, subscriber account and all of that stuff. And it's still not there. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. My whole thing is I hope Lisa is still filming. I told y'all she grew on me last season. It was Mary, Lisa, and Angie K who grew on me last season. And I would hate for Lisa to lose all those brand deals. She just got a Clorox brand deal because she doesn't have the visibility on this show anymore. It's kind of like, girl, don't mess up a good thing. I will say that Lisa does have an ego, so I can see her thinking like, well, everyone loves Lisa Barlow. I'm baby gorgeous, like I deserve more money. Because the rumor that's going around is that Lisa already makes over $500,000 a season for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and she's asking for $1 million. I don't know how true that is because, like I said, it's a rumor that's going around, but I also don't know how true it is that she's in a salary dispute with the show. Like, nobody truly knows. I think everyone's just making a huge speculation because she wasn't at that one cash trip of them being at the hot springs and all of that stuff. We don't know what's going on. And one thing I will give Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is they are very like tight-lipped about what happens throughout the season, for real, for real. They are really like, even in interviews, they're really cheeky about how they respond to things. They're very coy and they don't expose stuff. So I don't know. She could be having issues with the network. She could be having issues with the network or not. We don't really know. We really don't know. We'll only know once they release season 6. But I would hope Lisa isn't stupid and loses this opportunity because, girl, anybody can be replaced. They replaced the real OGs. They replaced Vicky, Nene. Girl, they're mulling over the idea of getting rid of Teresa and Kyle. Like, those are women who have been on these shows for decades. Well, I was a decade, but those other shows are in their like double digit seasons. Y'all are still in your infancy. Y'all were only on season 5. So don't jump off the train while it's heading to like a really good destination, in my opinion. So let's talk about Real Housewives of Orange County, because just like SOC, they got a lot going on. So, shouts out to this Twitter user by the name of Andrew, I think it's Zikmadoon. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Zikmadoon said, OMG, my friend is in NOLA and just spotted the RHOC filming, spotted that RHOC is filming their first cash trip of season 19. So this was posted on March the 9th, and y'all know Mardi Gras just passed. And you got pictures of the ladies walking. You see Jen, Katie, I think that's Gina. Yeah, Gina in the background. We see Heather. We see Gretchen. We see them sitting down to eat lunch. And then we also get this scene, or in other pictures, shouts out to Cindy C saying the new Trace Amigas, where it is Tamra, Gretchen, and Shannon. And it looks like this is still the same day because Gretchen has on the same outfit, but they're having a conversation. And I said, girl, I hope this ain't the new Trace Amigas. And so it seems like the girls are having fun. Someone posted a video of the girls being on Bourbon Street. They screaming out Gina's name. Let me play that for y'all. Like, it seems the whole entire cast is there because in this video you can see Shannon, you see Heather, you see Katie, you see Emily, and you see Jen. So it looks like they having a good time. But I guess the fun time didn't last because all of a sudden Tamra gets on to her Insta story saying it was a long run. When life gives you real problems, this reality SHIT doesn't make sense. Peace out. I'm out. And everyone's like, girl, what? What do you mean? What do you mean you're out? And then on the Taste of Reality, someone reposted what Tamra, posted in her Insta story, and they said this, hashtag Tamra Judge just posted, the cast just posted this, the cast is currently in New Orleans on their cash trip. Is Tamra quitting? And she said yes. She replied to this by saying yes. So everyone's like, girl, what? And mind you, another video surfaced of the ladies like going to dinner, and people were like, well, maybe at the dinner she got ate up, and that's why Tamra is in her feelings. I said, maybe that's what happened. Cause I was like, I'm not understanding, why you quitting, girl. Like what's truly going on? And then people noticed that she took out at Bravo hashtag RHOC in her bio. Now she had it clearly displayed for years in her bio. So I was just like, Tamra, you really quitting? Like, you're really quitting? And I was just like, I don't know if I believe this story. I don't know if I believe this story, because I was like, you begged for like 2 or 3 years straight to be on this show, and now all of a sudden we out. We're not, I said, girl, is she pulling a Kyle move and taking a week off from filming? Because then she posted a picture with a sticker in it saying mental health is health. So I'm like, I feel like she's pulling a Kyle. Like, what's going on? So even Andy had to give his 2 cents, because he was on his radio show and somebody asked him what was his thoughts about Tamra's post about being off the show, or, quitting and things of that nature. So let me play that for you.
Well, I got the report of what happened last night. All I will say is this. I can't comment on what's going on while we're filming shows. I guess the thing that is at the top of my mind is that one of her best friends, if not her best friend, is going through an incredibly intense health crisis. So maybe keep that in mind. Yeah. Otherwise, I really don't have anything to say on the subject. All right.
So I think with that in mind, it kind of puts some things into perspective for some people. And then when Tamra came out on her 2 T's in a podcast to say this, and I'll play it for you guys, she was questioned by Dolores. So while Teddy is recovering from her brain surgery and her radiation therapy, Dolores is filling in for her on the podcast, and she got really emotional while talking to Dolores about it just feels like everything is crumbling around her. So let me play that for you.
And it just, I don't know. I mean, between therapy and Teddy and some other personal things I'm going through, I just hit a wall. And I just felt like, I feel like I'm in a full depressed mode.
Well, then you have to listen to yourself and take a break, whatever that means. You're human. People forget we're human, right?
Yeah.
We go through a lot of emotional roller coasters, besides in life, in the business, and then everybody hits a breaking point, don't they? And you've been doing this. When you told me the other day you were doing this for 14 years.
No, it's like, well, actually full-blown 17 years.
That's so, some people don't last a season. Season, they don't.
I'm just so mad at myself because I feel like I just can't pull myself out of the funk.
Well,
and I'm usually pretty good at just pulling myself out, and I've been saying it for a while now. Like, I just can't pull myself out of this. I can't pull myself out of this. And it was just 2025 just been a real doozy. It's just been one thing after another.
For everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I feel like when you care about someone, you love them with everything you have. And your Achilles heel is when somebody you love is going through something or hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that was your breaking point.
Yes.
I think everything with Teddy and watching what she's going through weighed very heavy on you. I haven't seen you once since this all happened that you weren't viscerally upset. Like, you really care.
Yeah.
And that says so much about you to me, because there's a lot of people that don't have the ability to love like that.
Yeah.
And care like that.
I went into the season not knowing, not sure, very anxious, and just dealing with some stuff through therapy. And, that really breaks you down to your lowest point.
That's why I don't do therapy.
That's why I'm like, should I just quit? Because it's just, I feel like it's breaking me down so hard. And then jumping into the show, and then Teddy, like, it's just a combination of so many different things. And
I don't think you should quit therapy, Tamra. You're there now.
I know.
Do it.
I'm going to be honest. I know people don't see it for Tamra. Tamra has not shown herself in the best light for years. But I can't lie, listening to her get emotional, crying about her friend, it did slightly make me tear up. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't think I ever thought Teddy and Tamra were that close. I just thought they were like co-workers. But I guess, sharing personal stories, they have really bonded with each other, and they both do live in the state of California. Maybe not in the same part of California, but they live in the state of California. And I can only imagine, well, I don't have to imagine because I know what it feels like to worry about someone that you love and every day wondering if they're not going to be here anymore. And you can't do anything about it other than try to suck up as much time as you can before they leave. And you're hoping and praying that they get better so they are here longer, but that's not a guarantee. So my heart does go out to Tamra in that regard, but I do understand people having a hard time sympathizing with her because she has been an asshole. She has been mean and nasty and a gutter snipe to people. And when we've seen her be kind to others, it always feels like there's a motive behind it. So I totally understand people being like, I don't know, I don't know, but I do feel for her, I do. Maybe she's doing the whole Kyle thing, taking like 2 weeks off from filming, because let's be honest, girl, you begged to be on like I said, you begged to be on this show for like 3 years, and we're mad at people who are still on the show. That I just can't see her like not being a part of this show after begging for so long. You know what I mean? I can't. But here was an excerpt from a 2 T's in a Pod episode that was recently released with Teddy on it. So it says this, a super emotional 2 T's in a Pod episode with Teddy Mellencamp and Tamra Judge. It was actually very hard to listen to without tearing up. Teddy talks with Tamra about her tumors. It goes on to say, Teddy texted Tamra and said, "You all thought I was mental, but actually I'm on my deathbed." Tamra responded by saying, "No, you're not, because if you're on yours, then I'm on mine, because I can't live without you." They're obviously super close, so not only is this terrifying for Teddy, but also her loved ones. Teddy says, "I had a craniotomy with tumors resected, which is where they removed 4 tumors from my brain. But the hardest part is that nobody wanted to tell me what was really happening because they were scared. So I didn't know what was happening. Like, I thought I was fine. Like, I thought I was going to go home the next day. And like, once the tumors were out, I thought I would be done. Hashtag RHOBH." Now, I did see another part of this situation where Teddy basically said she thought she was good, and then she realized that no, there's more to this situation. Like, I actually have brain cancer, because these tumors might come back. It's impeding my thinking. Like, my eyes hurt all the time. Like, I'm going through a lot. But she says, I'm striving for a positive outcome. She ends up telling Tamra, like, "Girl, I know everyone has me. I know I have good people surrounding me." It was funny because Tamra was just like, "I don't know how you're doing this, because I don't know anybody who gets diagnosed with brain cancer and then they're going to do hot yoga and all of this stuff." And Teddy's like, "I still want to enjoy my life. Like, I may have this illness, but I'm still going to enjoy my life." She also was like, "Girl, I'm tired of, the shaved look. I need a wig." And I'm like, "Girl, you look good with the cut." But I totally understand wanting back, what makes you feel beautiful. But I definitely think Tamra, she gonna be back. I don't see her leaving this show. Like, I would be so flabbergasted if she really walks away from this show, because again, for 3 years she begged to be on this show. So let's move over to Real Housewives of Atlanta, because Miss Shamea has been on a press run just like Portia was on one. But I feel like hers is a lot longer, because I've seen so many clips of her, because I think when Portia did hers, I only saw her on The View, The Breakfast Club, and I think The Sherry Show. And Shamea, I've seen on Big Ticket in the Morning. She did a video with, Kelly. She was on E! Entertainment, Angela Yee's Way Up. Like, they really pushing the girls out there, okay? So it's interesting. What's really interesting about Shamea's press tour is that it already has me feeling like her and Portia are not in the same place they were in before filming. Now, I wish I would have gotten this screen grab of when she was at Angela Yee's podcast or radio show, I would say, but I forgot to record it, but I'll just give you the cliff notes. Angela Yee asked her about this article that was out that said, Shamea is a good friend to Portia, but Portia is not a good friend to her. And she was like, so what are your thoughts about that? And Shamea basically was like, I can't dictate how people show up for me in my life. Like, I can only dictate how I show up for them. But I've been hearing through the grapevine that they not really on the same page as what they were before the show started. It seems like they are going to have like some type of riff during the show and probably have a come to Jesus moment by the end of the show. But it's definitely given that like the show might change the energy of their friendship. But since we're talking about Angela Yee, Shamea was asked about the situation that happened between Brit, Eady, and Kenya, and I thought her response was very interesting. So let me play the clip for you.
She wouldn't be on the show, and I know there was a lot of drama in the last season. What are your thoughts about that with her and Brittany and the whole, like, the releasing of the pictures? And she has taken accountability, for it afterwards. And she's on the season, but I hear it's going to, like, fade out, kind of.
So we don't really know how they're going to do it yet or how they're going to edit it, but I was there when the whole thing went down, and it was nasty work. And when it happened, I actually told Kenya, I was like, hey, going too far. And she turned and she lit me up. And so then I stepped back and I got quiet. But then Kenya and I talked to her. I was like, okay, let me sit my ass down. So then we talked about it. And she apologized. She was like, she was in the heat of the moment. And that's just what it was. But now, looking back, after all is said and done, I wish I had just like kept quiet about all of it.
Really?
Because Brittany surprises you.
Ooh, okay.
Surprises you, I think.
I'm getting it now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be watching it and see what's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
This is just interesting to me, okay? Because we have Portia and Shamea's friendship changing, and we also have Kelly and Brit falling out or not being friends right now. But it seems like Shamea and Kelly are really locked in, and I was actually surprised. I saw this video of them where they were talking about getting your hoe spray or RHOA side, and I think they were at Shamea's house cooking together, and they have really good chemistry. They actually seem like they are really good friends. But it's just interesting now that we're beyond what happened in the season with Kenya and Brit, and with Shamea doing this press tour, she has been like, yeah, Brit, she not my cup of tea. As well as Shamea confirmed when she did an interview with Bryce Sanders that Brit said something about her youngest child, Shiloh. Now, we don't know if she really said something about Shiloh or if she was critiquing or coming at Shamea's parenting, because a lot of parents like to say that when you critique their parenting, you're talking about their child, and I don't agree with that. I can say something about how you raise your kids and not be talking about your kids, because that says more about your character than your child. But we'll have to see it, and I hope Bravo plays the whole entire situation. Don't chop and screw it. But let me play that interview clip for you guys.
Right. Yes, unfortunately, I came into the circle liking Brit, Eady, and now I'm just not a fan of hers.
Okay, yeah, because you and Kelly just went on the radio and said, that's our least favorite person in our group right now. What happens there to cause that switch? Well,
honestly, it's unfortunate because initially we were all really cool. And I think when she and Brit, Kelly and Brit had a little rift in their friendship, she kind of turned on me. And I'm like, I don't have a dog in the fight. I like you both the same. And then it was all this like, and you, and I'm like, what did I do? I'm just.
Her energy did not match the situation.
Yeah, and then she, I feel like kids are off limits. She just kind of went there, and you'll see it later in the season. I mean, she went there about my youngest, Shiloh, and that's a really sensitive spot for me. So I just felt like, I can't be, I don't want to be associated. I want to be around, and it was too much for me.
Cross the line. Okay.
To me.
So this to me is an interesting turn for the group. Now I will say, if it do come out that Brit did say something about that child, ooh girl, you're going to be fighting for your life. You're going to have to turn them comments off. But she did respond to the things that Shamea was saying by saying this: when the lies don't work, when the when the hate doesn't work, they resort to lying. And I'm paraphrasing. And then she said they're on a Brit press tour, and she had it over Cardi B's Press song. And I was like, well, girl, I mean, is it really a Brit press tour if they're asking her like questions about you? I mean, I guess it's bringing hype to the show, but it definitely seems like the only people that are rocking with Brit right now is like Angela Oakley, possibly Drew, or things of that, and maybe Phaedra. It seems like Cynthia is Switzerland, and I think Portia is cool with Brit, but it seems like Shamea and Kelly are about to be a duo that we didn't expect as the show continues, because out of everybody, Kelly is the only person that reposted Shamea's new song, and it actually sounds really good. And I went to everybody's page. Portia, who's supposed to be her best friend for over several decades, hasn't posted it. Phaedra hasn't, Cynthia hasn't, Angela, Drew, Brit hasn't, Kenya hasn't. So I don't know. And this is very much an interesting turn of events. And while I'm talking about Kenya, it seems like Kenya might be back for season 17, because she did give Kelly a shout out. So they seem to be in a good place, because Kelly's birthday was the other day. She turned 40. Somebody in my comments tried to say that she was in her early 20s, not 20s, early 30s. But she posted a birthday photo shoot, and she said something about 40 just looks so good on me. So Miss Thang is 40 years old. So let's talk about Married to Medicine. So since we talked about Real Housewives of Atlanta, let's talk about this beef that's brewing between Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine, because it's stupid. It's so stupid. So this started when Phaedra left the show and said that the girls were a bunch of mean girls for what they did with Apollo and Shireen. And so that caused Heavenly to say something. So they had a back and forth. Then you had Simone on Watch What Happens Live being asked how she felt about it, and her being like, well, Phaedra's about to go to Portia and them. They're like, what are we talking about? The way that Phaedra, the way that Portia has done people, she's a mean girl, which she is, which all of them are. I just feel like that's why it's kind of stupid that we're arguing who's mean, who's not, when they've all have been mean to people. So, you know, that caused Portia to say something about Simone. And then Toya was on reality T, or virtual reality T, and they asked her about the premiere of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so she gave her thoughts. Her thoughts rubbed Portia and Brit Eady the wrong way, and they spoke out against her, and then she spoke out against them. This is just stupid. It's stupid, but let me play what Toya said.
Did you watch the premiere of Atlanta?
I did.
You like it?
Absolutely. Okay. I did. I like it a lot. It's a lot of Botox and fillers.
Oh, from who?
Which I am
who's doing the most?
Man, I saw Nicki Minaj on there. I saw Lil' Kim.
Who's Nicki and who's Kim?
You know, them two ponytails, and the other one was like this smile that was like, it was like really.
Oh, they're not seeing the right doctors.
Yeah.
You guys
my God.
They have to get married to medicine.
I mean, Jackie's the only one that does that gives fillers and Botox and stuff like that, but
and dissolvers possibly.
I don't know what, but that was a lot for me.
Okay.
You know,
it looks like you're still recovering.
It was. It's a lot to watch. It made me feel like I was watching this beautiful black soap opera.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I agree with what Toya said. We all were saying things. People were saying like the girls look too similar in the face, mainly talking about Angela Oakley, Brit, and Kelly. Other people were saying that they all look stuffed and plump, saying that Cynthia got fillers in her face. But I think because they're on the same network, Toya shouldn't have said that. She just should have said, I like the premiere. I'm ready to get to know the girls because some of them look the same to me, and kept it pushing. But like I said, this prompted Portia to come out and say something. So Portia said this: to be honest, the girls from Real Housewives of Atlanta have always supported the other black shows on the network. And for me, definitely Married to Medicine, to see her as a black woman talk about features and pick apart Atlanta is really kind of sad. We may shade one another on our show, but we keep it in-house. We haven't been out here tearing down someone else. Let's do better. Let us all win. First of all, this whole statement is cap. We have yet to see any of y'all really support Real Housewives of Atlanta. We only got one crossover episode, and that was from the girls from Real Housewives of Potomac when it was during the pandemic and the people were in Washington, D.C. Y'all have never really supported Married to Medicine. The Atlanta girls treat Married to Medicine as the redheaded stepchild. And I get what Portia's saying about keep it in-house, but Phaedra has been shading y'all show since she left. She called y'all a sinking ship. She called it the Titanic while she was on your show. So you need to check your friend before you check them. Like, what we doing here? Like, if Portia was really about letting all the black shows win, then you would actually actively promote all the black shows. Y'all would promote Married to Medicine on your pages and on your like channels and things of that nature, but y'all don't do that. Candy hasn't even brought any of those women on speak on it. So let's not do that. So Toya responded by saying, "Girl, stop. You called another black lady ashy at Kenya Moore, not to mention you were a tad bit shady to our franchise under a Phaedra post." And she was. You and I both know how these interviews go. I definitely stated a balanced view of good and bad. Don't jump on the bandwagon. And I'm with Toya. Like, I don't even think her opinion was that bad. I don't think it was that bad. So Brit Eady decided to jump into the chat by saying this: "It's unfortunate that the ladies from M2M look to tear others down, but always want support from black community. Lead by example. It gives Mean Girls and Salty because Phaedra is gone off the show. I still wish them well regardless on the hate." Brit, shut up, because you just got here like 2 seconds ago. Please shut up. Please shut up. So then, the Barbs were a little angry. So Toya came out and said this: "I am one of Nicki Minaj's biggest fans, and I have nothing but love for her and her beauty. It is not an insult to say that these girls are trying to mimic her looks with Botox and fillers at Nicki Minaj." I don't think what she said was that disrespectful. I mean, do I think she should have said it? Probably not. I do get what Portia is saying, keep the shade in-house, but let's not act like you weren't shading them under a post that Phaedra posted, and Phaedra hasn't been actively shading them and going back and forth with them. So if she can do it, they can do it too. And like I've said, y'all treat Married to Medicine like the redheaded stepchild. We have yet to see y'all have a crossover episode and y'all live in the same state, in the same area. So moving on and sticking to Toya. So Toya was also asked about Sweet Tea. And let me play that clip for you guys. I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
There's someone on your cast you have the biggest disconnect from right now, and why do you feel that?
I feel like when Tisha came on, I saw that. I was like, yes, she's going to be a fun addition. She was going to maybe transition us a little bit. This season was a hot mess with Tisha. It really was. It was one of the moments where she went from being so light to so heavy. And the energy was off for everyone with her. It was not me, it was every single person.
And I know when you sat down with her after the beach altercation and everything, you kept on wanting to be like, how are you? Don't speak for Greg, speak for you. And do you feel that is why this season she's been having that disconnect, because she's not really authentically
being herself. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. And I usually wouldn't like for people to put, that's perfect, thank you. It really is, because that's exactly how I felt. I was like, she's losing herself. And it is a difficult place when you get married and you have children, because I remember being at that place where I lost myself a little bit, and it's sad, because that bubble, that light, it was like it just faded away.
Yeah. Did we see more of it at the reunion? Did she get her light back?
No, she was an idiot.
Oh, how was she an idiot at the reunion?
You're gonna have to wait and see.
Wait,
I really was an idiot.
Sometimes I have to.
She was even worse at the reunion. We were like, and it was just, did she know the theme?
You mean like style-wise, or just
all
the theme of a reunion?
All of it,
What's it?
head to toe. It's supposed to be like a play off of Bridgerton, but Georgerton, and we were supposed to be in this beautiful garden, and she came.
Finish the sentence.
These knots, and I can say this because I was just like, where did that come from? Like, who designed this look? And then this dress looked like it was like part club, part prom. It was all, and then her energy again. She was mad at the world.
Okay.
She was mad at the world, and we were just like, girl. I think she's young.
Yeah.
And she likes to say we're old, but I like to say we've matured.
You're wise.
We're wiser, and we know where to pull back, because it's not going to take us to the positive place that you really want to be in.
And also, now I can't say this for the entire cast for her, but the most of the cast are looking out for her and trying to help her. You're kind of giving her so many clues of how she could kind of grow and evolve to be more herself or
Yes.
come into her own
Yes.
a little bit more in this marriage with someone, and it just seems to be going in one ear and out the other.
It is, and so it's hard because it's like, how do you teach or you show or you help someone navigate friendships when they're still having a hard time navigating their marriage?
So what I took from this is Sweet Tea at the reunion wasn't willing to move forward with anyone. And I think, again, Toya, since that episode after they left the sandbar, has been trying to get Sweet Tea to understand that if you don't move forward or get your husband to understand that you don't take accountability or accept some type of fault in this situation, y'all are going to be off the show. And it's interesting because Erica De Niro TV, shouts out to the diva, has been saying that Sweet Tea always looks angry and mad. And if Toya is saying, girl, she came to the reunion mad at the world, it feels like they didn't get anywhere with her. And I know Jackie said in that one interview she did with reality, was it? Yeah, I think it was Virtual Reality Tea, where she says she just feels like it's time to like auntie Sweet Tea, get her to like move or something. And I know a lot of people don't feel like these women are mature, but to a certain extent they are mature. And I don't fault them for bringing up how young she is, because she is always calling them old and like senior citizens, even though she's sleeping with one. But I'm just like, girl, like, she makes it hard for people to like her. And a lot of people are angry at Toya because they feel like the women are piling up on her. I don't think so. I feel like she came onto this show with nefarious intentions with her husband by being there to throw their union in Quad's face. And now it's just, reciprocity. It came back to bite her in the ass. And now she's dealing with the consequences. But I do feel bad that Toya says you can tell that she lost herself in this marriage. And it's like, girl, you only been married for like 2 years and already lost yourself. And you don't even have the things that you want out of this marriage, like a baby or anything of that nature. And it doesn't seem like you're having a good time. I do hope that eventually she wakes up and leaves Gregory so she can go on with her life. But I don't know when that's going to happen. I just don't know. So moving on. They talk about the rap song that she did for Contessa, and I want to play it for y'all.
Did she sing at the reunion?
She?
Yeah, because I don't know. Did you hear that she performed a rap for us here?
No, but is she and Greg the same?
I would love. Okay, because she did.
I think she takes a back seat when it comes to Greg.
Oh.
And so,
She came here without Greg, and so I think maybe she felt emboldened
Yes.
and confident enough to rap.
It was randomly a song for Contessa to inspire her.
Wait, what?
Do you want to
Wait,
hear
we
it?
have to. Yeah.
We got to bring it up. Can we get a live reaction to this?
Sure.
She was ready.
Yeah, Coke, tell her ratchet Dennis with the big toes. Yeah, Coke, too many haters, but you can't fight, you don't. Yeah, Coke, no competition, just recognition, though. Yeah, Coke, boss moves only, watch me.
What is
Yeah, Coke? Yeah.
What does that mean?
So it's a remix, or I don't know, a remix or an homage to Glorilla's Yeah Glow, but Yeah Co for Contessa. I don't know. I haven't.
It was Co, not Coat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Co.
Yeah, Co.
Oh.
So who do you think is more musically gifted, Greg or Sweet Tea? We're sipping the tea, okay.
I think.
It's hard. It is hard.
I think I want to be positive. I want to be.
You try.
I try. It's just, it's a hot mess.
At least it's hot.
I can't imagine if my husband was in the basement singing a song about his ex.
That would piss me off for some reason.
Oh my God. And I'm videoing it. So I'm like, yeah, Co. Yeah, let me write. I got one too, honey. Like, how much crazy? It's too much.
It's too much. It's a lot.
It is a lot. And it just goes to show you, she's a very special wife. She's very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Honestly, I just wanted to play that because I thought it was funny. Their reactions, Toya's reaction tickled me. Sweet Tea has the ability to always make herself like the brunt of the joke, which I think that endears people towards her. But it's just like she's clumsy and goofy at times. And it's just like, girl, if you knew your husband was going to be singing that song and they were going to play it on the show, you should have never decided to sing as well. It makes more so what Quad said about her being the perfect woman for her ex-husband. Yeah, girl, you are that. But since we're talking about the reunion, let's talk about Simone and Quad. So in the reunion trailer, we see a confrontation happen between Simone and Quad where Simone and Quad get to yelling at each other. Simone says something to the effect of, "You gave us your ass to kiss, or you wanted us to kiss your ass, and we hung out with Dr. Gregory just because of that, and you get what you deserve," like whatever. So they're arguing back and forth. It gets really hostile to the point where they have to push Simone out of the room. It reminded me of when Simone and Toya got into it on the season 2 reunion, and people are upset about it. People are tired of Simone having this, what a lot of people seem like this one-sided argument with Quad, or one-sided beef with Quad. And I thought they were on a good track, even though Quad and her seem to be in a good place, because Quad also did an interview with Virtual Reality T where she basically said that Simone was a traitor, but she didn't want to really say why. And she was like, they're in a good place, but I don't know. I guess after this reunion, they'll be back to where they started the season off. I just feel like if they're going to be on this show, they just don't need to ever try to be friends again, the same way Contessa and Heavenly just need to keep it very surface. I think a lot of people feel like Simone hates Quad or is jealous of Quad, and maybe that's what y'all see, but what I see is someone that is still upset about them not being friends anymore. Because I think people forget that Quad and Simone were actually really close in the beginning of Married to Medicine, to the point where when it was time to vote Mariah off the island, Simone stand firm in picking Quad's side. And Quad helped Simone look for her dad when he was missing. She was there for her to a certain extent during the divorce. I just think that Simone misses her friendship, and friendship breakups are hard to get over, but I think she's still holding on to that grudge. I also feel like they have said that they've reached out to Quad, they've called her, they've texted her, they've tried to bond with her, and I think that rejection bothers them, that she only wants to talk to them during filming, and they can't stomach that, or they can't take it. But a lot of people feel like it's time for a cast shakeup when it comes to Married to Medicine. People want to see Heavenly leave, Simone, Jackie. I've seen some people say Quad leave. I mean, honestly, ultimately, even though Simone is my favorite, I do see them getting rid of her if they do have a cast shakeup for season 12, and potentially getting rid of Jackie and keeping Toya's Quad and Heavenly, and Contessa and maybe Mimi, and letting go of Sweet Tea as well. I don't know. I go back and forth because I get tired of people complaining about how dark this show is, when I feel like the viewers are just as dark with their opinions. But I also feel like if they do a cast shakeup, the people complaining about these women, are y'all going to tune in for the show? If we get a shakeup, are you going to watch it? Because if not, shut up. But I do think Simone has to let this grudge go going into season 12. But shouts out to Rodney the Voice. He got on Twitter and he said this. Basically, in the reunion trailer, Dr. Simone admits she started hanging out with Dr. G and Sweet Tea because she was pissed at Quad. I tried to tell y'all they were never friends with Dr. G like that. Low key, I think Dr. Simone can't stomach Quad. Baby, let the hate go. So Quad actually responded to his tweet because another commenter brought up Sister Circle. And Rodney responded to that person by saying, Sister Circle has come and gone. I'm sure that's what you're referring to, and has taken accountability, or she has taken accountability. Quad responded to this tweet by saying, I shared my Sister Circle platform with those I was friends with during that time. Jackie, Heavenly, and Contessa. It's that simple. I don't owe anybody anything. I don't cry mad when they don't involve me in their other ventures. I wish them well and mind my business. # Married to Med. So Quad pretty much said, I've been there, done that, and I'm not going back there. Well, Simone pretty much posted Quad's statement, or a new statement that she made in her Insta story, and said this: for years, I've wrecked my brain to see what all the Simone beef's about. The only thing I can come up with is Sister Circle. Listen, I shared my Sister Circle platform with those I was friends with during that time. Jackie, Heavenly, and Contessa. It's simple. I don't owe anybody anything. I don't cry mad when they don't involve me in their other ventures. I wish them well and mind my business. Period. So Simone quote tweeted saying, leave me alone unless you want it with me. So I feel like it's more to this than what we're saying or what people think. I think a lot of people feel like it was the sister circle situation. Even I thought so. But I do feel like there's an air about Quad that rubs them the wrong way. But I've also noticed that they don't treat Quad the best. So it's fault to me on both ends. I don't think it's something that's one-sided. But I do think the girls are in jeopardy if they can't move past this, because a lot of people have been complaining, okay? But I don't want Married to Medicine to fail. So I don't know what they're going to do with the fan feedback. They might put them on hiatus for a year or two like they did Atlanta. And maybe with them being gone, people will miss them. Either way, I don't want this show to fail, but I also want Simone to let go of those hurt feelings that she has for Quad. I want Contessa and Heavenly to just agree to disagree and move past their issues. And I want the show to succeed again. But as always, thank y'all for listening. Remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in them comments below and share your thoughts with me. Subscribe, like the video, and I'm out, y'all. Deuces.